I'm strong in faith.
Faith can move mountains. Radio Maria 91.3 FM.
The voice of truth.
Welcome back to 91.3 FM Radio Maria, the voice of truth. We're going to hear some truth today with our wonderful guest, Mr. Micheal Enwere, my son. Proud to call him my son.
And I'm proud to call you my mother.
Good. Now, we have working parents apart.
Yeah.
Should a parent work, or should both parents work? Who are they as parents? When you ask a primary 1, 2, 3 child to say, who's a father? A father is a provider. Who's a mother? The mother keeps the home. So, should they go to bed and just sleep in and sleep out without looking for how to fend for the family? I know what your answers are out there. Now, in a situation where all of these have to be done, take care of the bills and all of that, let's hear from Mr. Micheal Enwere. Who is a parent, or who are parents?
Yeah. Hello, everyone. It's great to be here on this program. I think parenting is a skill, is also an act, and is also a virtue. You know, for me, being a parent is a privilege, is a blessing, is a challenge, is an opportunity to give the best to the gift, the little ones God has given me as children, and to make them the best they could be in the world that they found themselves.
Thank you very much. That's a very practical definition of, who parents are. We're looking at a situation now where they will take it now from the holy books. It's not good for man to be alone. We're looking at it. A man shall leave the father, mother, and cleave to his wife. Then in some faith, you're told children are welcome. Welcome by who? By father and mother. And then again, you say, no man is an island. Another will say, better together. Now, could you give us, an idea of parents working apart? Could you define that concept of the theme, parents working apart?
Yeah, I quite agree with the terms parents working apart as against parents living apart, because when you say parents living apart is a bit complex, because they could be living apart because of disagreement, because of divorce, and other separation problems that we encounter, especially these days in families.
Okay.
But when you say working apart, that means they are working probably from different cities, different locations,
yes,
and all of that.
Okay.
Ideally, I don't think marriage is designed for parents to work apart, but practical issues in our society has led to that.
Good.
You have to work, you have to earn a living, because if you're staying right in the house and your children don't have enough food to eat, you can't pay their bills, you can't pay the school fees, you can't take care of the things that need to be taken care of in the house, it's going to break your heart. And even being at home, you will be apart from them, because by then there will be an emotional disconnect between the parents and the children.
Good.
But when a parent is able to provide, you definitely may not be able to provide everything that is actually needed at every given time, but you can plan and say, we provide this necessary, which is necessary at this point, and then we'll provide that which will be much more necessary at a later stage. So these are some of the reasons why people have to work apart. It depends on the job too. If you're a soldier and you have to serve out of your station, you have to go there and do your work.
Good.
And what have you.
Thank you very much. At least we have come to see the reasons parents would work apart. But we know that in this very, very important task where both parents are in harmony and in agreement. They agree to work in different locations because of the aforementioned, of all things you've just said. You know, the bills, provision, and all of that. And looking at the present economic situation, that some of these bills are towering each day. We used to get a loaf of bread for 350 naira, and we would scream that it's too expensive, it's getting too much.
It's incredible.
And now, you out there, our great listeners, know that a loaf of bread for the family loaf now is the cheapest, is about 800 naira.
Very
and
true.
You're going to 1,200 if you want to talk about the ones that have little touches here and there. And for some family, that loaf of bread is not enough.
It's not enough for mine.
You need two of that. So you'll be doing 3,000 naira or 2,000 naira for just breakfast. You're not talking about the condiments that go with it. Then the school fees, the school run, medicals, house rent. You know, some people are getting all manners of updates from their tenants, their landlords right now. The agents are sending letters of increase in house rents without increase in salary, without increase with all the inflation around and all of that. So what Mr. Micheal has told us is very clear, that situation comes together when people, husband and wife, will now say, okay, since you got a job in this location and you have a better pay, there's a greener pasture there, you may have to relocate to that place because the bills are multiplying by the moment. But in this kind of situation, there are also challenges, you know, where both of them are together. It is not easy to do the art of parenting. Now, talking about when they are apart, could we know some of these challenges you're facing? Because typically, you've been through this path, this route.
Okay, I'm a very practical person, so I think I'd like to approach these issues pragmatically.
Okay.
When we started raising our children, I and my wife, we wanted to be the best parents we could ever be to those children because they melt our heart.
Wow.
We don't want to hurt them. We just want to make sure that they get the best life. And my decision to want to leave home and go work somewhere else in order to support the family and all our needs was a hard one, you know. But after a lot of speculations and thoughts to it, I decided that it was the right thing to do because when I decided to move, I didn't plan that I was going to move forever. You know, it was for a period of time, and everything is in plan, and we are working to say if it is better for us to be apart for a period of a year or 2 or 3 years or 4 years and then come back together to give the children a home they really deserve. So, and one thing you must know is, just like it is said that man is made up of body, spirit, and soul, you know, you could be in this room and be absent from this room.
Very true.
You could be in this room physically, but subconsciously you are just not here.
Good. True.
So sometimes you see some parents who live together, and just because of some certain situations around, the parents are so distant from their children, and the children crave for this attention because children learn more by action instead of words and commands. You know, they just want to mimic you. They just want to do that you do. So by the time you stay and the children want to come around, ask you questions, and you're so bickering and all of that, you know, edgy, that's the word. You're so edgy, you think they shouldn't be. Go and do something else. Don't you have something to do? Why are you all over me and all of that? And then the children begin to cuddle in. They go into their shell, you know.
They withdraw.
Yeah, they withdraw, that's the word. You know, but then everything for me is all about balancing. For me, everything is about balancing. You have to balance your work life, your family life, your personal life, and all. So when I decided to work apart from home, it wasn't funny, especially my wife didn't find it funny. And I assured her that we are doing this for the betterment of everyone, for better tomorrow, like they would say.
I could imagine. I know how that feels,
Yes,
Yes.
I felt bad myself, but then I left, and what I do was I find out time to call them and speak with the entire family, ask them how they are doing. Thank God for the video calls that we have these days on various applications. So
Great.
I
That's
do
true.
video calls from time to time, at least 3 times in a week. I have video calls with the entire family, and I listen to everybody. How are you doing? What challenges are you having in your studies? What is the new thing? What are you experiencing? What questions do you have?
Hope you are listening to him. That's great.
I do all of this, and
Yeah.
I also try to admonish them to listen to their parents, to their mom, in my absence, and ask them not to overstress their mom. And at every little opportunity we get, sometimes it's not very easy, but we plan towards it. Like during their holidays, I bring them to spend time with me because of work. And from time to time, I also come in, to spend time
Yeah,
with
I was
them.
just going to ask that, do you stay away all through, or you come in intermittently? Well, you just said that.
Intermittently, I come in to be with them. And it's not just coming to be with them. When I come to be with them, I make it as a point of duty to dedicate a couple of days just for them. And they are now aware of that now, that when I come into the house, they know that this first day, second day, third day, Dad is not going anywhere. If I had to go out, I take permission. And I tell them why I am going out. They want to know, why are you going out? Why? Take us with you. I said, no, I can't take you with me because the place I'm going to, it won't be very good for children because I won't be able to look after you all the time.
Okay.
So I will need to be in control wherever we are. The town is not safe, as a lot of people know. So you can't have children, like if I'm here right now in the radio studio, and I can't have them here because they can't keep
the atmosphere.
they can't keep still. And if I leave them outside, I'll also be apprehensive because I wouldn't know what they're doing at that moment. So I'd rather just leave them where they are safe.
Thank you so much. I want to know exactly when you are away.
Yes.
When you're away working, definitely things will be running. Life continues for the children.
Yes.
They go to school, they go to church, they go to the little children's club or whatever they belong to, and all of that. In some cases, when you're around, you're able to handle. But when you are away from home, could you tell us the things you can do from where you are to make it lighter for your wife and for the children?
This is interesting. And I'll tell you this. Sometimes the children can be hectic. I have 4 children,
Wow, that's great.
Yes, the youngest is 2.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Mom. The youngest is 2 and the oldest is about 9. Yeah.
Okay.
So sometimes they stress their mom out, And my wife is not just a housewife. She also works. She does business.
career person,
Yes. So most of the time, she also have to combine taking care of the children and also doing her own business.
Okay.
And sometimes this whole thing stresses her out when the children become a little bit difficult to handle. And she calls me on the phone and she says, "Look, this is what is going on. Talk to these children. I need to hear from you." And sometimes she calls me on a voice call and I call her back on the video call. And I said, "Please, I want everyone's attention. I have to come in with a manly..."
The steel of the father.
Yes, to now hit it on like, "Look, I have the gavel here. If you misbehave, this is what you get. All the goodies I promised that I was going to come back with when I'm coming, I'm not going to come back with yours if you don't do what mom asked you to do.
So sanctions
Yes,
are
sanctions,
presented.
definitely.
In
Sanctions.
case you don't do this, you get sanctioned.
Yes.
Wow.
Sanctions and rewards are important in raising children because that is the real color of the society. So you must let the children know. Most of the time we work based on stereotype. We think children are too naive to know about politics. They are too naive to know about the society. They are too naive to know about principles and philosophy. You should start teaching them early.
From the cradle.
Yes.
Right from the womb.
Absolutely.
You talk to them.
Absolutely.
They hear.
Absolutely.
Yes.
They hear more than you can imagine.
True.
That's the truth. So you need to tell them why people vote. What politics is about. They need to know this right. Nigeria actually is the way it is today because most of the people that in their growing up didn't know that it is their right to demand for good leadership, to have good society, to have law and order, to exercise their right and liberty. And as you can see, the younger children that are coming up these days, the younger generation, I would say maybe because of the social media and the proliferation of information all over the place, they are more demanding. And that is why you see that the tide is changing. And sometimes some people who have not come to terms with the evolving generation don't even understand it, that times are changing.
Gen Z, they say.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, and you have to change with it.
So you're telling us now that you go the extra mile of making use of every single means of communication you have, including your Android phone.
Yes.
Putting through calls, making sure there are video calls, talking about sanctions, talking about all of the good motivations, the rewards you have for them.
Yes.
And so it's like you're within the same room, really, even when you're far away in your location. So they know that dad is still with mom.
True.
And it's also good that you're letting them know too that mom, whatever mom is doing, is not that she's not wicked. She's doing it for your good.
True.
And I am also here for your good.
True.
Because it's good for us to balance up these two information. So one knows that it's what you're doing is complementary. That parent A is here doing this, I am there doing that, all for your good. And then you have to cooperate with us to also get the right results. Thank you so much. You see, we're getting to know it bit by bit. Now, what would you say, looking at a situation where parents are within the same house, yet they are miles apart? Because you drew our mind to that not too long ago.
Yeah.
That you could be in the same room, yet you are not together. You're bodily present, but you're not spiritually together. You're not socially together. Your souls are apart. So what do you think, should be done in this kind of case where parents are together, working together, living together, yet they are not together?
If you ask me, I think parenting in most cases is impulsive, because you tend to be reactional. The child is crying, you just want to keep the child quiet. The child is hungry, you just want to make sure they eat. You just know the children have something to eat, have to pay school fees, have to wear clothes. It's impulsive. You just think of this thing. But sometimes you should know, you should also be deliberate, not just impulsive. You should deliberately think that, at this point, I'm going to call my children and we're going to have a talk. So I started something with my children that we'll call the family meeting.
Great idea.
Yeah, so at some point, they are the one that reminds me to say, Dad, when we haven't had the family meeting in a while, we need to have the family meeting.
Wow.
And in the family meeting, everybody has the time to talk. You teach them the mannerism of when this person is talking, don't interrupt, let this person talk, finish, and then you come up with yours and all of that. And then we will, and I think sometimes it's not everybody that thinks these things are necessary. They just focus on the traditional parenting style, which is
send the money, pay the bills,
exactly,
and things
and
will
give
be
the
done.
orders,
And
give the
things will be
orders.
done.
You know, so something else I like to say is that stereotype is sometimes one of the problems that mediate against the family as well as the society. You know, sometimes there's a stereotype that the children are foolish, don't know much, that's, silly. The adults know better. There was a situation when my wife was asking me, I'm trying to do this thing, I can't do it. I don't know how can I do this? I'm trying. Can you help me with this? And then my 9-year-old son spoke up and said, but mom, when you don't know what to do, why don't you ask Google?
I like that.
And it hit me like to say, oh, really?
Ask Google.
If you have any general knowledge, you need to just ask Google.
Wow.
You understand?
Yeah.
And so you need to give these children the voice from the cradle. They need to learn how to express themselves. And this is one of the things I try to teach the children, to express themselves. And coming back to your question, when you talked about people living together yet apart, it happens for different reasons, because sometimes the situation around us overwhelm us. When you're thinking of, my boss is mad at me at the office, I have this assignment, I have these colleagues who are think I'm no good, who just want to unseat me, and I have to hit this deadline, I have to, and hit this target and all of that, and I'm not doing good enough. And then the children are there with their bills, there's always soaring and all of that. Sometimes you can crack up, but you need to take a break when your head is so full. And for me, that is one thing staying apart sometimes does for me, because sometimes I'm able to see something I probably would have been distracted from seeing when I'm with them. Yeah, but it's also a way to have better understanding of how the mind works and how life works, how family works.
But don't you think, Mr. Mariam, that somebody somewhere will be cheating? Cheating now is not going to sleep with girls and all of that, but on responsibility as a parent.
Yes.
That the responsibility becomes lopsided. It becomes on one person, and the other person is in the house as a stranger. You think it's I know you don't mean that it is right, but something has cost it for that person. But remember that as that person has a result or a reason for all of the escapades of while he's thinking about helping his work at the office and all the things that are besieging him or her, the other partner also has those same experiences in some way, but still has time to remember that the children at home have to be the center of their interests.
Okay.
So there's need. You had said it earlier that there's needs to strike a balance, but somebody somewhere is not striking a balance.
Okay. If you look at it this way, you look at there are roles in the family.
Yeah.
For a mother and a father, though these days some mothers are the breadwinner of the family. True. Some mothers, and the husband, the man, the male is supporting the wife.
Yeah.
But the wife is taking the front lead on that.
Okay.
But in most cases, we know that most male are the breadwinners of the family.
Yeah.
That is not to say that is an exclusive role for male in our society today.
Not at all.
Yeah. But then you know that there are some natural roles for parenting, for both parents, the male and the female.
Okay. When
children are growing up at the earliest stage, below 10, it is more advisable that they stay with their mom, because naturally the women have the natural instincts, to nurture children below the age of 10. The male have their roles to play, no doubt, but not as much as the children, the woman, the mother does. And that is why most of the time, in a case of separation, by law, the woman stays with the children, until they are up to some certain stage, maybe like teenage stage and all of that. And then just to...
I should say, in that case, they're going to have to look at the mental situation, the disposition of the woman, and some other factors to tilt. Yes, I understand that generally, what obtains most of the time is that the children be with the mother, especially when they are really, really minors, infants, and all of that. But there are situations too where it will tilt the other way if the mother has some issues. I just want to put in.
Yes. Okay. Well, just to hit up on my balancing philosophy.
Yes.
Like during when they are on break from school,
Okay.
I usually take them to my new station.
Okay.
And they stay with me because their mother also have to run their business. She also stays all by herself running her business.
All right.
And that's like a vacation for her in a way. But
to hear that.
It's hardly
Some break.
Yes, some break. It's hardly 2-3 weeks, and she'll be saying, "Please send back my children."
Oh my goodness, I like that.
Yes, so it's not something we hope to keep up for too long. It's something that is momentary, and we hope that we don't suffer the children by any way by staying apart. Let them know that we love them and we love each other.
Yeah, we're going to be coming back in a short while. Don't go away, because we're looking at these challenges of parents working apart. Don't go away. Thank you. Welcome back to 91.3 FM Radio Maria. On child protection, we're here again to talk about parents working apart. No doubt it will go with challenges. Like Mr. Enwere said, it was painful. It was a decision they had to take for the good of the family, for the corporate good of the family, and for the individual good of the family. They had to make up their minds that it will work. But he's going to be telling us also the challenges that go with it, because right here it's not bread and butter. So, Mr. Enwere, could you tell us, is it a bed of roses for you staying apart? Even roses have thorns. What could you tell us that are the possible challenges of working apart as parents, as husband and wife who still love each other and also love their children?
One thing I'll tell you is there's a lot of challenges that comes with living apart.
It's 91.3 FM Radio Maria. On child protection, you could call in on 081 084 475 18. We need your opinion. They are very precious and dear to us. 081 084 475 18. We're talking about parents working apart with our wonderful guest, Mr. Micheal Enwere. Thank you.
Yeah. So like I was saying, sometimes, it seems like everything is going to tear apart. There have been moments when my wife calls me to say, "Look, I think you better come back here. Whatever it is, let's enjoy it together here," and all of that. And sometimes when she feels I'm undermining her own the role she's playing by handling most of these things alone. And I am always quick to reassure her that by no means do I undermine you as a person. Those assurances are quite important.
Very important.
That by no means do I because I know what she's doing, because to be honest, I know she will do that much, much better than I would do.
Yeah.
I try myself, to be close to the children, to observe their need and to manage them. But I think she is way better than me on that area. So
thank you for being honest.
Yes, I just have to be honest.
Great.
If she's listening now, she knows that I say this to her all the time, to say we appreciate you.
We celebrate you, women and women out there.
And women are great.
Thank you.
They know how to make the best out of every little thing, they get, especially when their heart is in it.
Wow.
So the challenges are enormous, but the opportunities are also there. You know, for me, I believe challenges comes to each and every one of us. There's also a challenge even when you live together.
Sure.
Yes, but this is not to say like I'm encouraging parents to walk apart. You know, it is actually always better for parents to be together. You know, then you can take vacations when you can afford it and all of that. But when you really have to walk apart, one of the major virtue you must hold up to is trust. You must be able to trust the other partner to be. First and foremost, it comes with knowledge. You should know what the other partner can handle and what they can't handle. And those areas that I know that I am much better than my wife, I always come in when they arrive and I say, don't worry, let me handle this. And most of the time it works for us. And the emotional loophole which it creates is kind of one of the biggest, because sometimes you just want to cuddle your wife. You just want to have some heart-to-heart discussions, staring in her eyes, and she's not there. You want to grab the children and all of that, and they are not there.
Like eluding you.
Yes,
Not there.
and then you come to think about it, is all this worth it? Is all I'm doing here is worth it? But sometimes, you know, these are some. I don't think they said no pain, no gain. You know.
Yeah. But I feel that there are some other ways you could also make up a bit, thanks to the internet and all of the video calling and all that. When you feel that way at times, I know you could also make use of the phone to say a few things and
we do that often, but it's different from when you're actually present. Like
Sure.
I have been with them for 2 or 3 days now. I came back to see the family, you know, and I have been like a tree with many beds on top of me. They follow me to the bathroom, they follow me to the kitchen,
Everywhere.
they follow me everywhere. As a matter of fact, coming here, they wanted to follow me
Oh my
and all of
goodness.
that. And you know, so it's
good to have you around.
It's
you
a
know,
good feeling
that's
to
good.
be missed.
Yeah. So you
Yes.
can see that it's a great thing having daddy around or mommy around, especially when the person has been away for 1 or 2 weeks, all because we have to put, you know, food on our table, pay the fees, pay the bills, and all of that. Especially in a situation where in the country right now we know what's happening. The inflation is something else, and the private sector, you know, not finding it funny, is also not reflecting it on the salary of workers. Of course, same for the government agencies and MDEs. So it's surely one of the situations that some families may have to resort to work apart. It's not as if somebody wakes up someday and say, look, for us to operate on this marriage, we're not going to be living together. You're going to be working here and I'll be working there. You know, things come out, challenges, or even real life situations that are not outrightly challenges, but you feel is better. Sitting with you here and probably not being able to pay the bills is not the best. It will get to a point where it becomes boring to be staring at your face. We have to live up to our responsibilities as parents. We have to work apart for this purpose. And as long as the purpose is being met with sacrifices, with all the challenges before us, as long as the advantages are way more than the disadvantages and will not bring, will not lead to permanent separation, then it's also worth giving it a try. Because even those who also live together have had issues and have had to separate. So it's a matter of how do you manage it? How are you handling it? What is your own situation? Because every marriage, every family has its own peculiarity. And how are you handling all of this? So we're still out waiting for you, even if it's the last minute to hear from you. But I can imagine that you're still listening to this very, very important topic, parents working apart, on 91.3 FM Radio Maria. And Mr. Micheal Enwere has been doing a lot of justice because he's on ground. He knows where he's wearing the shoes. He knows where it pinches. And we also know that even when you're apart, working apart. You are still together. From all that we've heard him say, that he does the homework with them on phone.
True.
He reaches out to them and reminds them, spare me my wife, on phone. At times, when the woman cries out, your children want to kill me.
That's correct.
And then he says, please spare her for me. I love her very much. I've had an issue where a man came in for counseling. So what's the matter, sir? He's by far my senior. He said, please, Mrs. Momoh, could you call my children? I need you in my family right now. I said, what's happening? He said, no, it's like SOS. This weekend you're going to come in to tell my children not to kill my wife. I said, please, is she a stepmother or fostering them or something? They are her biological children, but she is my wife. The stress is getting too much. I'm going to escape for some time with her and all of that. So you can see that the men also care when their wives are being stressed out, or the women also care when their husbands are being stressed out. So it's not a choice that just comes and you say it's the best of choices, but times will come when you will need to do that, and will be able to manage prayerfully, and planning and all of the sacrifices that go with it. We're able to still hang on there, being the best of couple, being the best of family. And like Mr. Micheal said, it shouldn't be forever. It shouldn't be unnecessarily longer than it should be, because staying together, God still says it's not good for man to be alone. But when we have to stay together, then we have to ensure that we do it even while we are apart. We are still together. Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, good evening.
Hello.
Yeah, hello, please. Where are you calling from, and your name, please? Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you. Go ahead.
Hello.
Hello? I'm hearing you clearly. We missed that call. We're rounding up now, and we have to... Can we still take any other call? Sorry, the next program is coming up just in a few minutes, and we'll have to say thank you for tuning in. It's Child's Protection with the Child's Advocate, Mrs. Momoh Angela, and we're asking, please tune in again on Thursday by 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. daily, Tuesdays and Thursdays, sorry. Please make sure that family remains core. And we must say a very big thank you to Mr. Micheal for being our guest and being a super dad. I have always known him to be that. Please, let's cherish our families. Let's cherish our children. We keep staying bonded together. God bless you. Bye-bye.